This is the Aftermarket Radio Network. It's your Weekly Blitz with Chris, keeping you in the game.
Are you ready to supercharge your auto repair business? This is Coach Chris Cotton from AutoFix Auto Shop Coaching. The Weekly Blitz is where industry expertise and business innovation collide, revving your engines for the week ahead. Every episode has game-changing insights, up-to-the-minute industry updates, and practical tips to shift your business into high gear. We're talking about stuff you didn't even know you didn't know, folks. This episode is brought to you by Shop Marketing Pros, the experts in marketing for top-tier auto repair shops. If you're running a successful shop and you want to take it to the next level, Shop Marketing Pros is without a doubt your best option. From websites and SEO to social media and digital ads, Shop Marketing Pros help shop owners like you fill your bays, grow your revenue, and build the life you've been working for. If you're ready to take the guesswork out of your marketing, visit shopmarketingpros.com/Chris to get a free digital marketing inspection and start building the shop of your dreams today. First of all, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. I've been missing the last couple of weeks, and we'll get into that here in just a minute, where I've been and what's been going on. Originally, for this episode, I was going to cut a in-your-face throat punch. If you haven't set goals for 2025 yet, you're already behind and you need to do that episode. And that was going to be like the start of the new year. And that's what it was going to be. We had a little detour, and unfortunately, Kimberly's mother passed away New Year's Eve. I want to talk about that a little bit. And so this might be a little raw for me because I've been spending the last couple of weeks taking care of her and making sure she's good. We stayed there in Oklahoma to make sure the family was set up and ready to go, make sure her dad was okay and everything. And like a couple of days into this, I was watching the family act and react to each other. And it brought me back to the yellow envelope, red envelope episode, and seeing this firsthand play out or whatever just really reinforces the fact that that needs to be done. And so I'm not going to go into great detail on the red envelope, yellow envelope. I've done it before. You can go back and look up that episode and rewatch it, re-listen to it. One of the things as a man that, you don't understand or you don't know that you're going to do is when you get married or whatever, before that, dating, I never thought in my life that I'd have to tell somebody else that somebody important to them had passed away. Unfortunately, I've had to do it twice for Kimberly now. And I go back and I'm replaying this in my mind, and I don't think I did it very well either time. And I'm like, gosh, how do I do this better? What do I do? But really, I handle grief a little bit differently than most people. And I was put in a bad position, I think, a little bit on this one. But now I've had to go through and tell her that I'm not going to say the most favorite person to her in the world, but her grandpa, or pawpaw is what they called him, several years ago, I had to tell her that he passed away. And then now having to tell her that her mother passed away. We were on the mountain getting ready to watch the torchlight parade, and she answers her phone and says, "Hey, it's Dad, and he wants to talk to you," and hands me the phone. And so I'm on the mountain. He's telling me what's happened. I have to decide where to tell her, how to tell her. And I know if I stop her from watching this torchlight parade or whatever and say, "Hey, we got to leave," she's not going to take more than 3 steps without demanding to know what's going on. I didn't feel in my heart that I could sit there and let her watch that. But now after thinking about it, maybe I should have. Maybe we should have stood there and I should have sucked it up and watched it with her. But then I don't know. I don't even know if that's the right answer. So I did in the moment what I thought was right. And I look at her and I'm like, "Hey, your mom's gone." She collapses in the snow and she's crying. This lady is mean mugging me like right behind her. Like there's a lady that she's in Kimberly's bubble and she's not leaving. And she's looking at me and all this stuff's going on around us. And I know she thought that I had done something to Kimberly, I think, because she just stood there and she was just like, there was no reason for her to be standing there. She wasn't even looking up towards the mountain. I think she was listening. And then she wanted to leave, but didn't want to leave Kimberly. And so she said, "Hey, is everything okay?" And at that point, I kind of realized what was going on. I'm like, "Hey, my wife's mother just passed away and I just had to tell her." And so we just need a minute. And then she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then, went on about her day, which is fine. But in a world where a lot of people stand by and let stuff happen and don't do anything, I'm really thankful to that lady. Hopefully, if somebody's ever really in trouble, she can help. She's a mountain mama bear, probably. I don't think she was going to put up with any bullshit that day. So kudos to her. I don't know her name, but she's out there. And I know there are several others of you out there. So that's good. So anyway, I get her off the mountain. We spend all the next day, New Year's Day, getting back to Oklahoma. Kimberly is super organized. Piper's super organized. And they get that from Kimberly's mom. She was super organized. And thank goodness she was. I'm going to talk about the stages of grief in just a minute and kind of what I saw. But thank goodness her mother had the wherewithal to basically have everything planned out. She had the music for the service, what she wanted, how she wanted it, the color of the casket, pallbearers, everything. All that was listed out. So none of those decisions had to be made. And while we're sitting at the funeral home talking about those things, because there were a couple of things we had to work out, I'm just like, this is a red envelope, yellow envelope situation. And so the whole point, if you get nothing else out of this, I want you to understand that every day when you walk out of your shop, every day when you walk out of your house, it could be the last time that you tell somebody goodbye, hello, I'll see you soon. And you need to be prepared, or you need to have your family prepared in case that's the last time for you. It's bad enough having all the family stuff to do. They had to make all the business decisions at the same time and be like, oh, well, payroll's in 2 days. How do we do that? I don't have access to any of the bank accounts. How do we do that? Like, all of that needs to be set up, all the guesswork taken out of it. I need you to understand, if you're not doing that at whatever age you are, it needs to be done immediately. Like, you need to put this on your to-do list for 2025, and you need to have a rough draft outlined by the end of the month. And by the end of February, that needs to be in place, and it needs to be readily accessible for any loved ones that might outlive you. Yeah. I call it the red envelope, yellow envelope. Anyway, all of this needs to be laid out in a format so that the people around you, they're grieving, they will not have the wherewithal to make these decisions. Like, this needs to be written down. And I saw firsthand what it was this time. I've had several people die around me. I guess I've never had the wherewithal to see the stages of grief, see how they interact, see what happens, and see how the red envelope, yellow envelope would have been helpful and was helpful in this situation. Again, make sure you have it. Make sure you have it ready. Make sure it's shareable, and also update it. Like, you need to go through and probably update it yearly, especially if you change the passwords. It needs to have the password for your phone in it. It needs to have all your bank passwords. All that needs to be done. Again, I'm kind of rambling here, but this is still pretty raw. I'm actually surprised I'm holding it together as well as I am. I want to talk about the stages of grief just a little bit. When the initial shock wore off with Kimberly in the first couple of hours, the first stage is denial. And this is a natural response. This happens to different people. It handles on your own timeline. But, watching her go through this, it was like, no. And they had just been out to visit us like the week before. They spent the week of Christmas with us. We just seen her 3-4 days before. And it was like, no, this hasn't happened. Is this real? Like, I don't understand any of this. And so the next stage is anger. The way it manifested with Kimberly was, why is this happening? Why did it happen? She was angry. She was frustrated. Just the way she worded things and talked about things was completely different, like way out of character for her. If you can think about your loved ones being in these first 2 stages, like, there were times when Kimberly, the only way I could explain it was catatonic. Like, she could not function. Like, on the drive, I'm sure she was deep in thought, but she was staring out the window, just, I think, trying to process the whole thing. And then after that happened, the third stage is like bargaining. This is a feeling of helplessness. And what that does is it leads to focusing on your personal faults or regrets. And she started talking about, oh, what if I'd have done this? And the example is that Saturday morning they left, she got up and went for a run, and it was cold, and she didn't leave like 15 minutes earlier than she normally would have. And then she was going to stop by where they were staying and tell them goodbye. And then she missed them. And then in her mind, she went to that and she was like, I'm so terrible. I can't believe this happened. I can't believe I did this. And it's only because, I was trying to be comfortable or whatever in my head. The same thing happened when we told Piper. She went through, we had to tell her over the phone. I messaged some of her friends on Instagram. I was like, hey, Piper doesn't know this. I'm getting ready to call her. Can you guys be available for her if she needs you? Because we were in Colorado. She's in Texas. Kimberly's mom and dad are in Oklahoma. And she went through really, really quickly, like the denial stage, and went straight to bargaining. She wasn't really angry, and maybe that happened later when we weren't on the phone, but she started going back to focusing on faults and regrets that she had had. She was with us the week at Christmas as well, and she flew home like the day before they did. And in her terminology, her verbiage was, I wish I would have been able to spend more time with them. I wish I would have been able to, maybe I shouldn't have gone to bed so early, or, what if. And I tried to tell her, I'm like, whatever happened is what happened, and there's nothing we can do about that. And the next stage is depression, which is, manifested as a feeling of sadness or hopelessness. And then I'm going to kind of pop to the last one, is acceptance. And the acceptance is a process of moving forward and adapting to a new reality. I think for me personally, I'm probably in the acceptance stage, but I think Kimberly, what I've noticed since we've been home is that she kind of goes back and forth between the depression and the acceptance. This has been so hard for her. Things like this would be hard anyway, but for her to live with the reality and accept it and go on. So now she has good minutes and then bad minutes is what I would say. And it really is like that. Again, sorry to kind of bum everybody out in the new year. This is not the original podcast I was wanting to do. I'll try to have it out for the next one. But now we're already a couple of weeks in, and I guess goals and planning is always good, but we have some other stuff that I want to do. But what I want you to get out of this is, number one, have everything written down and a plan in place in case you're no longer here. Make it as easy on your family and loved ones as possible, especially as a business owner and having all these extra things in your life. And then, for me, multiple businesses. Each one of those has to almost have its own red, yellow envelope. If this happens to you, if you are in this, or if you know of somebody, a parent that has not planned or has not done this, then you need to sit them down and have a tough conversation with them and be like, hey, in case anything happens to you, what do you want? And don't let them push you away. Don't let them talk you out of it. Have the uncomfortable conversation of, if this, then what? Okay. Hopefully this spurs you on, gets you forward, to move you forward. The other thing I would say is, if you have some in your life that are close to passing away and you don't have their life story written down yet, if you haven't sat down and asked them the 25 questions you've always wanted to ask, you've got to do it now, because it's too late. I wish I'd have done that with my Granny Cotton. So much more about her childhood and everything that I would have liked to have known that I didn't ask her. And now I just can't. We're off the races in 2025, everybody. But again, grief is a journey, and the stages of grief are not a uniform way of dealing with loss. The process of grieving looks different for everyone. I can guarantee you that grief can and will be overwhelming, and it's going to take a toll on your mental and physical health. If nothing else, you'll feel like a fat pig, because in Oklahoma, everybody brings you food, and that's what you do. Like the first several days is people are like fighting to bring you food. I've had more fried chicken in the past week and a half than I probably had in the last 3 years. With every drumstick comes potato salad and coleslaw and rolls and everything else. It'll take a toll on you mentally and physically. And I hope being aware of the stages of grief can help you understand your needs and prioritizing the future for you personally and for those around you. Also, spiritually, whatever that means to you, are you spiritually ready? Are you emotionally ready to meet your maker, if that's what your belief is or whatever? And if you're not, then I suggest you get there. Maybe this is a message for 2025. I'd like to give another shout out to our sponsor, Shop Marketing Pros. They are the only marketing company I recommend, and they handle all of the marketing for my own shop as well. If you're serious about growth, you need strategies that actually work, better websites, higher Google rankings, and ads that bring real customers through your doors. I need you to visit shopmarketingpros.com/Chris and partner with a team that understands your business, because every great shop deserves a marketing that's just as great. Again, thanks for tuning into the Weekly Blitz. Remember, it's time to rise, grind, and keep your mindset positive. Until next time, this is Coach Chris Cotton signing off. Have a great day, everybody.
You've been listening to the Weekly Blitz with Coach Chris Cotton on the AftermarketRadioNetwork.com. Follow Chris on your favorite podcast listening app. Let him know what you'd like him to cover. His email is in the show notes. Chris is all for advancing the aftermarket.